Out of all the battle videos I had in my folder, you know, slash stat files, things like that, I was actually the most excited about narrating this one against Txrlegend because it's a tier that I enjoy, and it was a game that after I played it, I was like, yeah, I fucking love the hell out of that game because it was cool. We got Main Xiao, who actually went down in the newest tier update. I guess he didn't exactly make the cutoff. Braviary finally got Roost in black and white too, so I'm like, I'm gonna try out a bulk upset and see how that fucking works out. And then we have a sub-Moxie Heracross on my team, and believe it or not, all three of those things actually get adequate screen time, which is, they're not exactly new concepts to the metagame, but you get to see them anyway, and that's pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. He's gonna go ahead and lead off with said Main Xiao, you know, used to be kind of a lead thing back at the beginning of Black and White because it was pretty fast. Got high jump kick, got fake out, got U-turn, all that shit. News for you, Ambipom does the same thing too, but he's been doing it for one generation longer, and he's faster, so screw you. But gonna go for a fake out, get stab on it and all that stuff, so I'm actually gonna do a pretty hefty chunk to him. And I'm going to go out to Nidoqueen, either expecting the high jump kick, the Stone Edge, or the U-turn. I do resist all those in some way, shape, or form. And he can't go for the fake out because it's the second turn already. So I was like, okay. He goes for a high jump kick. Doesn't really do too big of a chunk, but you're going to see that this HP Ice, which is kind of a thing you see in Standard for Gliscor and whatnot, it does more than half of what I have left. So I'm going to go for the Stealth Rock right now, but I don't really feel comfy on, you know, an RNG min-max kind of thing on the next turn, as, you know, maybe hoping for minimum, because what if that was minimum, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go out into my Arcanine to take both the HP Ice, and if he wants to switch it up to a physical move predicting a switch, it'll do a little bit less. So he's actually going to go ahead and switch it up to a high jump kick, which is probably the best thing to do in that scenario, since he more than likely was expecting me to be able to set up the toxic spikes, things like that later on. I did have some value to it, since it does have it has a decent chunk of HP left. So he's going to go for a high jump kick and a Stone Edge. Fucking champion of the world physically defensive Arcanine right now. Takes it with like around 20% HP left, both of those, and is going to recover back up to the point where a high jump kick only, you know, the net value of it in total was probably around 25%. And I'm sitting pretty good. It looks like I just switched in on Stealth Rocks, and like that Main Xiao wasn't even there at all, except it did kind of damage my Nidoqueen, and I did take Life Orb Recall with Ambipom. That's a different story. So we go back to Empoleon. I do not want to take anything from it. I figure I might as well go into my Shaman, and he's going to go ahead and set up the Stealth Rocks. I don't have Spinners. It's not really going to be that annoying. I just need to watch my switch-ins with Arcanine and Braviary. Slash Forced Ones that this thing is actually going to go ahead and show off by going for Roar on this turn. I could have gone for the Seed Flare, but I was like, if he does decide to start phasing out, or if he wants to go for the Scald or the Toxic right now, I'd rather have Shaman take it and stay in for a turn. See what it wants to do, since the worst thing it can probably do is Ice Beam. But looking like he's especially defensive set just based on the Stealth Rocks, I should be good to go with Shaman, because I got full HP and all that stuff. But he roars me into Braviary. That's not a switch I want to have happen right now, because I don't have Superpower. I got Bulk Up, Roost, and Dual Stab, so I really need to take out this Empoleon before I'm able to do anything with Braviary, but I decide to go right back out into my Shaman. He either doesn't want to predict that, or just decides to try to go for the burn on anything in that case, because he knows I'm going to have to switch out as is. And it does like nothing to Shaman, and gonna get some lefties HP, yeah, lefties recover, not lefties, lefties and Leech Seed, there we go. So, switching out, totally forgot about his own Shaman. If I really wanted to, I could have gone for the HP Fire right here, because I knew I wasn't really going to be doing too much to Empoleon anyways with the Seed Flare. Could have gone for this, could have gotten the Spec D drop with Seed Flare, but it was like, yeah, this was a little bit more likely, you know, he wants to get rid of the Leech Seed as well, so something I could have done, but I guess just didn't for whatever reason. So, right now, I'm going to go into Arcanine, because I'm expecting that he's a sub-seeding thing, like me. So with that in mind, you know, he's probably got Seed Flare and HP Ice or Fire. I'm going to resist both, and if he's going to end up being bulkier than me, then or slower than me, I can go ahead and threaten him out with the Flamethrower, things like that. I do see that my lefties goes... Actually, my lefties go second, so that was kind of... No, you know what? My lefties didn't go second. He had Life Orb, just kidding. I'm thinking of my own Shaman for whatever reason on the other side of the field right now. I am hallucinating. So what I did see that made me do this switch into Nidoking and Death Foddered out was I did see the Life Orb, so his move pool is probably going to, or his coverage that he has on his set is probably going to be a little bit more widespread, and it could take out my Arcanine from that range. So I figured, fuck it, Nidoqueen, you already got the rocks up. I'm not going to get much use out of Toxic Spikes anyway, because this thing has Natural Cure. Empoleon being a steel type, you know, Flygon levitating, one of his pokes already being dead, that leaves only 2 pokes that are going to get use out of Toxic Spike, so I was like, I'll just switch in that, let it die, and then bring in Ambipom for the safe switch to go for the Fake Out next turn. Now, the range of HP that Empoleon's at right now, I didn't even run off to a damage calc, but I was like, I'm going to go for the low kick because I think he's kind of fat, and it might work. And it does, so I don't know what the base power on low kick is when it's against an Empoleon, but it's enough to take it out from that range, and that's all I really need to know, so it's kind of handy. Now, I make a kind of risky play here. This is actually one of the other things that can be affected by Toxic Spikes. Not that big a deal, but this thing could have just as easily been Scarfed just based on the way he brought it in. But I make a very risky and needlessly risky play. Stay in, go for the U-turn, and I'm going to go out into my Arcanine. A hard switch probably would have been better because I wouldn't have been taking a Life Orb recoil or anything like that. But I totally forgot that I was at this range of HP, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a Fire Blast, and then I can Morning Sun it off, and then I'll be good. Now, what I wasn't really keeping in mind, I didn't see Life Orb or Lefties right here, so I was like, okay, maybe he's choiced. So I'm going to go, that's actually what I did keep in mind, just kidding. But I go into Braviary right now, and he ends up going for Shadow Ball, so it's like maybe he was expecting me to coax a double switch right there. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the straight play, expecting a switch, and I end up getting a free bulk up just based on that turn. But I didn't really know anything about the Chandelure until just now, and I ended up losing Arcanine Nidoqueen over that. So thinking about it, my team is kind of bulky. Huh, that's not normally like me, but I'm going to go for a return on the switch because he's not going to want to stay in and let me get bulk ups all day. So that being his only normal resist, since Empoleon is... how the fuck did I kill Empoleon? Oh yeah, low kick. So that thing is dead. That means Braviary was free to set up 1 bulk up, and Flygon's gonna come in. Now Flygon has a pretty solid attack stat. You know, he can go for the Outrage, do all that stuff. And I'm gonna take this Outrage beautifully. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. And gonna be able to roost off the damage, get back up to more than I was, meaning that Outrage does less than 50% after 1 bulk up. And this guy's got a lot of HP too, so bulk up set doesn't hurt him any at all. The problem is I run lefties. You could run sub bulk up with 1 attack, which is something I've been tempted to do, but I don't really like that idea too much. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Just maybe proper team support would be nice with it. So it turns out that he's going to go for another Outrage. I know it's going to do less than half, so I figure I might as well go for another bulk up. And I'm good to go. And I think he ends up switching out here. So goes into Chandelure. Now, I'm going to go for the Roost on this turn, just get back up to full HP. So I was like, okay, if he Scarfed, then he's not going to do that much damage, whatever, no fucking big deal. But there is more than one choice item, guys. There is Choice Scarf, and then there's one of the more threatening things that you can put on Chandelure, which is Choice Specs. Because this thing has the highest base attack out of any Pokemon outside of Ubers. And he's going to hit me with the Specs Overheat, so I was like, I'm at full HP, I can take that. And then I remembered, holy shit, it's a fucking Chandelure. That stab and all that, wow, dead. That's all I need to say. It was very scary. But now I'm gonna go into a part of the play, or a part of the game, where the people in the stream were like, why the fuck are you doing this? And I was like, this is an idea I have, just work with me, like suspend all disbelief until this actually ends up playing out. But I go for the Leech Seed. Now if I had missed the Leech Seed, I would have lost the game right there, but thankfully I hit it. And this is actually going to be pretty important because I'm going to go into my Heracross. My Heracross does have Substitute, and I'm looking to coax or have one of two things happen. He's either going to switch or he's going to miss an Overheat. And I think he kind of recognizes that at this point of the game, which is why I do speed it up, and it's just me subbing. The cool thing about the Leech Seed is it's going to lower the amount of damage I take overall from subbing down. I do have lefties as well, so it's going to offset it greatly. But he keeps going for overheats. It's actually doing a set amount of damage to him as well, which is why I speed it up. And I only have Close Combat and Mega Horn. And right there, he misses an overheat. So that's one of the main things I was looking for. If I kept subbing down, this game would have been a little bit more difficult. But he's at the range of HP where even with a quad resisted Mega Horn, I feel like I can take him out from there. So he didn't want to switch out, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to sub down until he misses overheat. I'm actually really glad he did, because it looked like he was pretty stubborn on not letting me get a sub up after he saw the first one. So Flygon's going to come in while I have a sub, and I'm sitting real pretty because of that overheat miss. To be honest, I was fishing for it, but it happens, and with the amount of overheats that he'd gone for, I could have just PP stalled him until he died, or, you know, one of those two scenarios was pretty damn likely. So, he does break my sub with an outrage, no big deal. I didn't want to risk Mega Horn missing, so I went for the close combat. Not that it really ends up mattering which one I went for, because I do have the Spec D drop, and Shaman is going to end up being faster than me if it's timid, but I kind of feel like a Life Orb HP Fire from a Shaman would have taken me out from this range anyway, regardless of the Spec D drop. So he brings in Shaman. Did get to see a little bit of the sub Heracross thing action going on. Not a whole lot, but, you know, with my Leech Seed and stuff like that, it made it a pretty interesting situation, to say the least. But he takes me out with an HP Fire, going to take some Life Orb damage. That is his last one, so that's actually going to make it pretty easy for the Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey to come in right here. And go ahead and go for a Fake Out and U-turn to finish off the game, which is actually going to leave me with a pretty narrow 1-0. And it didn't really feel that close until we got to, like, the Chandelure overheating everything, and I was like, I'm scared. But it kind of worked out. You know, the overheat miss was actually probably the one crucial bit of hacks that happened in this game that led to me winning it. But I was kind of fishing for it, so if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it was still a good game either way, which it was. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you're welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. Probably one of the most solid games I've had in like 1 or 2 weeks, something like that, so I gotta thank him again for giving me that match. Anyways, that'll do it for today's video, and I will see you guys on the next one.